Well, good afternoon, everybody. Just really proud of our team last night and what we were able to accomplish last night on a night of celebration for our seniors. I hate to call it senior night, but it was a great night for them. I always like sending them out with the regular season finale with a victory, and even though they're going to play 2 more games here in the hump, just a real special night. To see their families, to see the smiles on their families' faces. As a coach, sometimes you don't get to see the fruits of your labor with your players till 10, 20 years down the line. And that's just part of coaching. And last night we had some seniors out there that have really, I've been fortunate enough in 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, or 7 months, I've seen some real growth and real improvement. But again, it'll be 10, 20 years from now that you really see maybe the fruits of your labors and the impact that you possibly can have as a coach on your players. And so, I got a message yesterday from a player I coached back in 2007 or 8, who's now a pretty successful coach, and it just reminded me of that particular scenario. And so these young ladies are going to be extremely successful in life. They're going to be great bulldogs. I couldn't be prouder of them. I couldn't be more happy for them. They've earned everything that they've achieved this year, and still have so much in front of them. And I'm really hopeful and encouraged that they can continue to do that. That being said, we've got a pretty monumental task ahead of us on Sunday. Going into a place that'll, I'm sure, be packed and be loud. We've played there before, and we've played well there before. But we haven't been able to come out of there with a win. And so this team will prepare today, they'll prepare tomorrow, and we'll go to South Carolina and try to play well against a team that's always well coached, well prepared. They always expose you, and so we've got 2 really good days to get ready. And I'm excited about my team. I'm excited to take the team that I have with me. So.
Start on the right with Robbie. Anriel, I know you've only played 1 game against South Carolina here, but you have plenty of experience against them. It seems like you really fit into this rivalry between these 2 teams. It's usually really physical and a good defensive ball game. What do you expect whenever you face a South Carolina team coached by Dawn Staley, and what they're going to bring to you, and how do you attack them?
Right, yes, I do expect it to be very physical. That's one of the first things I think of. I think it'll be very fast as well. They have really quick guards, and so do we. So I think that there'll be a lot of transition, and we have to be able to get back on defense, in transition defense, and we also have to be able to attack them in transition offense. But yes, it'll be very physical, and we just have to outwork them and be tough.
Stand there right with Danny.
Excuse me, both players to respond to this. Y'all both transfers coming in to this program, and Jordan, this is your second SEC championship. Anriel, this is the first one. How does it feel for both of y'all to be able to contribute to this program like you have?
Well, for me, I'm honored. I've never had a championship before in basketball. So it's just really amazing to be a part of something this special. But we want to be able to get it on our own when we play on Sunday, so we don't have to share.
Jordan?
I agree with Anriel. Just to be able to do it 2 years in a row is very hard and amazing, and I'm just glad that I'm here to contribute and help.
Vic, in what ways have you seen South Carolina change and kind of adapt over the last month since you played them?
Yeah, so one of the things is, they've been without Taya Cooper for a few games, and she's had a little ankle issue, and boy, they haven't missed a beat. I mean, they're scoring at a high rate, 73-82 the last 2 ball games, and they just replace her. They got the same mentality we do, next person up, and they do a great job. They're, like Anriel said, they're going to try to expose you in the open floor and transition and get out and run. They really shoot the ball well. I think you got to really appreciate they've got some guards shooting it at a high level, and yet if you go out there and grab them now, they're gonna try to put it on the floor and get by you. And so, you know, we've got to be really solid and really fundamental in our approach defensively on the perimeter, and handle that. You know, Dawn's adapted to not having, you know, the traditional two bigs that she's always had by playing four guards a lot of times, and you know, really made that work and be really difficult to deal with. So they've just gotten better to me. You know, they had an early stretch where I think they were 4-4 to start the year, but my gosh, they played some really, you know, really good teams, and so they learned from that, grew from it, and I mean, they've been as hot as we've been. I mean, you know, they've played just as well as we have in the conference.
Anything else, guys? Dan?
Coach, can you just talk about your two seniors you have there with you as being transfers and how quickly they've adapted to get you where you are now?
Yeah, I just brag on them a little bit. It's hard to do when you, you know, when you come in Joe's case, you know, we really had planned on her redshirting last year if we could make it through the year, and her willingness to, at midterm, take the shirt off and played in 31 games for us was a tremendous addition to our team, and really gave us some much needed depth that we desperately needed. Obviously, she played extremely well in a lot of ball games, and had a great ball game against Louisville in the Final Four, and so, you know, I knew coming back with her, even though her numbers didn't have to be off the chart last year because she was playing with so many great players, but I knew coming back that she would be, you know, number one, I was going to give her the opportunity. I was hoping she would embrace it, which she has, becoming that player that I really felt like she could be all along when she came out of high school. I mean, you're looking at, this kid was phenomenal in high school, and I just thought all along that she could really be a great player in our league, which she's turned out to be. I mean, she should be considered for all SEC, just like Anriel. I mean, both these kids are, you know, top players at their position in the conference. So, you know, for her, she's had a little bit more time here than Anriel. Anriel, it is so difficult, you know, to do something all your life one way, and then, but that last year, we're going to try to change you in 3 months. I mean, she didn't get here till August. She actually didn't get overseas with us until the last couple games, and so, you know, to try to put her in a system, and basically in 3 months, you get September, October, November, before you play in early November, to adapt to a system. And I give her a lot of credit. She's really done a good job with that. She's obviously makes our team very different when she's on the floor. And but the thing that you guys just see for, you know, 40 minutes or however many minutes a night she plays, I get it every day. She's not one of these players that when the lights come on, she turns it on. She's that way every day, y'all. Her motor runs. She is high energy. She is a positive person out on the court from a standpoint of smiling and happy, which makes me happy. You know, it's a hard enough job without walking out there and, you know, looking at a frown. You know, basketball should be a pure joy. It should be your joyful time of day, and it should be fun. And she enjoys that piece, and I enjoy, you know, coaching somebody like that. She is competitive, you know, as all my kids are, and I have a real appreciation for that. I don't get too upset when we're both in a competitive setting or competitive arena, and we both express that. I want players that are competitive. I don't want excuse makers, but I want kids that are competitive. Both these kids are extremely competitive. And so we're fortunate to have them, y'all. And this is, both these kids, you think about it, well, let's just think about it if they weren't here. You know, what that might look like. And I think both of them have impacted not only our program, they've impacted Mississippi State and our community, our fan base. You know, in Anriel's case, I don't remember, I seen the stats with Jordan when she played, but I don't know if you played here when you were a freshman. You did? Yeah. But I know what it was like for Anriel when she played here. It wasn't very nice. and so for her to have the opportunity to turn those folks who were against her into folks that are desperately for her, and to see that trend, you know, that flip is really cool. And you know, I think our fans have embraced both of these young ladies. And again, you know, both of these kids are going to be great success stories in their life. I mean, they're going to be really successful. And so, in that regard, they're going to be great ambassadors for Mississippi State and for Bulldogs all over the country.
You touched on last night how happy you were with how they came out and took care of business because of maybe how they played a couple years ago against Tennessee in that ball game. But just from a sheer effort standpoint and being interested, as you've mentioned a few times, how did you feel like they handled that? And several different players playing at a high level and doing well last night outside of foul trouble.
Absolutely, yeah. 28. When you force 28 turnovers, Robbie, then to me that's showing a big interest level. You know, I think Jordan had maybe how many steals you have, Jordan?
4.
Yeah, she had 4 steals, and so you know, and she probably got her hands on several other balls, and so. You know, I think that shows a tremendous effort level when you've got kids doing those kinds of things. You know, you force 28 turnovers in the Southeastern Conference, you're playing pretty hard and doing some good stuff. So, and again, those guards at LSU now, they're tough and they're quick and play extremely hard. That team was playing as well as anybody in our league since the last time we saw them. It only lost 2 games by 5 and 4 points, both on the road, both at top 20s. And so, you know, just really proud of when we did get in foul trouble. We had a little controversy. You know, when you run into those kinds of things in a ball game, to see your team and your kids respond is very good. I mean, that's how you learn as a team, because we're not done. We're going to have that situation again. And you know, my thing with my kids, I tell them all the time, when you come out and you have that happen, when you have some foul trouble early, my indication in that is that you got to be ready to play. You know, you got to be on your toes. You got to be ready. And so when you get some of that early like that, that's an indication for me that I need to really encourage them to, hey, we got to it's game time. We got to get ready to go. And so, because I just always feel like when that happens with us, we're a half a step slow. And so. Like to try to stay away from that, and so I'm over there encouraging them. Hey, we got to go. Lights are on. Let's roll. And so I'm proud to see us get through. I thought our bench was spectacular. I thought Jessica, Zaria really came in, did a nice job. Zion came in and did a nice job. They were really good. Andy came off the bench last night, had been starting, and so they all did a really good job for us.
Good, Logan. We've got time for one or two more after.
Vic, do you have an update on Briamber? Do you expect her to make the trip Sunday?
I don't have any update there, and you guys will be the first to know.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, ladies.